Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about Trigun Stargaze. Now before we get started, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on those post notifications so you never miss a video. Let's get it. Trigun is a Japanese manga series written and illustrated by Yasuhiro Naitao. The manga was first serialized in Tokuma Shoten's Shonen Captain in 1996 with a total of 3 collected volumes. After the magazine was discontinued in 1997, the series continued in Shonen Gahosha's Young King Hours magazine under the title Trigun Maximum, where it remained until its completion in 2008. Years later, the franchise returned with Trigun Stampede, a reimagined anime adaptation produced by Studio Orange. That series introduced Fast Stampede to a new generation with a modern CG animation style and a fresh take on the world of Trigun. After Trigun Stampede finished airing in 2023, Studio Orange announced that the story would continue with its final phase, titled Trigun Stargaze. Trigun Stargaze is set 2.5 years after the events of Trigun Stampede and continues the story following the destruction of July City. The series is directed by Masako Sato and streamed internationally on Crunchyroll. It premiered in Japan on January 10, 2026, with the English dub premiering 2 weeks later on Crunchyroll. Now, let's get into the story. 2 years after July City's destruction, No Man's Land is still scarred by Vash and Knives' battle. Vash has vanished, and Knives' followers are stealing plants again. Meryl, now working with Millie, investigates the robberies. Zazie brings them to a crashed ship from the Big Fall, where they find a dead plant and the murdered crew. Zazie then questions whether humans can understand plants, but Meryl insists coexistence is possible. Then, a message reaches the planet from a new Earth colony fleet. They will arrive in 6 months and are willing to evacuate No Man's Land. People celebrate, believing rescue is finally coming. Meanwhile, Vash is alive but catatonic, cared for by a desert hermit named Hopper. Ship 3 also receives the message, but the ship is suddenly attacked. Brad sends a young girl named Jessica away in an escape pod to find Vash. Jessica's pod follows the tracker in Vash's prosthetic arm and crashes near Hopper's shelter. She finds Vash unresponsive. Hopper explains he found him after the July City incident and has cared for him ever since. Jessica tries to awaken his memory, but nothing works. Hopper then threatens to kill Jessica unless Vash stops him. That night, Vash finally confronts him. Hopper reveals he loved a blind woman named Erix, who died during the incident of Lost July. Vash defeats him, but Hopper forces Vash to shoot him. As he dies, he imagines reuniting with Erix. Jessica tells Vash that Ship 3 is under attack, and Vash leaves with her, knowing Knives may be involved. Meryl and Millie hear about Vash's first sighting in 2 years and go after him, accidentally running over Wolfwood. Vash and Jessica reach Ship 3 and find it seemingly empty until they encounter Leonoff the Puppet Master, one of Knives' agents. Leonoff tries to capture Vash, but Vash corners him in the research dome. Jessica manipulates the ship's gravity, disabling the puppets long enough for Vash to destroy their control system. Meryl, Millie, and Wolfwood arrive, knocking Leonoff out and reuniting with Vash. Leonoff despairs that only Knives ever cared about him, but Vash calls him by his real name, Emilio, proving he was remembered. The Ship 3 survivors emerge, and Meryl says his friends will help carry his guilt over July. Elsewhere, Elendira reports Leonoff's failure to Knives, who has survived only as a brain in a life support tank. Knives' followers keep stealing plants and grafting their parts onto him to restore his body. As he regenerates, Knives dreams of Tesla, the independent child who was cruelly experimented on. Elsewhere, Mid-Valley the Horn Freak is disturbed by Legato and Elendira's brutality, but remains too afraid to resist. Legato sends Mid-Valley to infiltrate Ship 3 and capture Vash. Mid-Valley attacks with weaponized sound, and Wolfwood fights him while Vash repairs his arm. In a flashback, Mid-Valley remembers Knives murdering his group to force him into service. Wolfwood urges him to turn against Knives, noticing that Mid-Valley still avoids unnecessary casualties. But fear keeps Mid-Valley fighting. Using information from Emilio, Luita creates a feedback loop that cancels Mid-Valley's sound waves, allowing Vash to disable him. Legato then leads a full attack on Ship 3. Vash and Wolfwood defend it, but Vash refuses to kill Legato, who subdues him with telekinesis. The Ark is damaged, forcing Legato to retreat with Vash and 2 stolen plants. Wolfwood secretly boards the Ark, revealing he helped capture Vash to earn freedom from Knives' organization. Vash is used to revive Knives. Conrad then explains that independents have limited power, and their hair turns black as that energy runs out. Revived, Knives declares his plan to create a second Big Fall by destroying the incoming fleet. He destroys No Man's Land satellites, cutting off all communication. For 5 months, Meryl and Millie try to follow Knives, while Knives and Legato torture Vash, trying to make him join them. Vash refuses and accuses Knives of causing plant suffering by stranding humanity on a barren planet. Back at Ship 3, Emilio and Mid-Valley have reformed, and Luita reveals the crew has restored Ship 3's flight capability. They discover Knives is stealing plants to force humans towards Octovern, where he can destroy them together. On the Ark, the plants refuse to help Knives, so he forcibly grafts them onto himself, making Elendira question his motives. Legato weakens after restraining Vash for months, allowing Wolfwood to shoot him and free Vash. Their escape is blocked by Razlo, the Tri-Punisher of Death, Livio's violent alternate personality. Wolfwood escapes with the unconscious Vash and heads to Hopeland. At Hopeland, most people are evacuating to Octovern, but Knives' forces intercept them. Wolfwood leaves Vash at the orphanage and fights Razlo alone. The battle destroys his body, and the regeneration drug accelerates his aging. As he collapses, he realizes Vash is truly his friend. Vash wakes in time to stop Razlo, and Livio's real personality resurfaces, banishing Razlo and saving Wolfwood with a blood transfusion. With Hopeland low on supplies, Vash tries to contact Ship 3. Livio goes instead because Vash cannot drive Wolfwood's motorcycle. After 5 days, Livio reaches Ship 3. Luita refuses to bring the orphans aboard because the ship is heading into battle, but sends non-combatants and supplies to Hopeland. Vash reunites with his friends, and Millie learns her family is safe in Octovern. That night, Vash creates special bullets with his powers. He plans to separate Knives from the plants he absorbed, and Meryl suggests using Vash's resonance to lure Knives to a chosen battlefield. Vash chooses the original Big Fall crash site. Knives then senses him and brings the Ark. Legato and 9 Lives attack first, and with Wolfwood and Livio fight 9 Lives while Legato targets Vash, blaming him for Knives' despair. Legato tries to force Vash to kill him by choking Wolfwood, but Knives appears fully powered. Knives kills Legato for overstepping, absorbs Vash into his body, and leaves Wolfwood and Livio to be swallowed by the worms. However, Zazie saves them, saying Knives' plan may destroy the worms as well. Meryl and Millie then board the Ark, hoping Vash can stop Knives from inside. Elendira attacks them, but breaks down after realizing Knives never intended to synchronize with her. Meryl comforts her, and Elendira realizes Knives is driven by loneliness. After this, Knives connects to the plants around Octovern and tries to turn them into independents, but they wither away instead. Conrad admits even Knives does not understand plants. Crushed, he begins the Genesis Flood and heads into space to destroy the colony fleet. Inside Knives, Vash sees Tesla's memories and learns Rem was involved in her experiments, a truth that Knives always hid from him. Vash realizes he never understood Knives' pain. In space, Knives absorbs the fleet's plants and drags the ships towards No Man's Land. On the Ark, Meryl plays the Song of Plants, reaching them. The plants rebel, freeing the fleet and leaving Knives' body. Vash then escapes, apologizing to Knives, but refuses to kill him. Instead, he opens a gate so they can return home together. Knives, however, absorbs the gate to spare Vash more suffering, and they crash into July's ruins. 1 year later, No Man's Land is nearly evacuated. Knives' fall created a Genesis phenomenon, bringing water and plant life to the planet. Some volunteers stay to study and protect the changing world, and Vash wants to remain, but his friends convince him to leave with them for another adventure. And that's the end of Trigun Stargaze. Now, me personally, I'm not the biggest fan of CG animation. I really do prefer the older 90s, early to mid 2000s aesthetic of anime. And honestly, some anime still, even though they're using computer generation way more obviously, still have an animation style that I can connect to, like JJK for example. But I'm gonna be honest, from a story perspective, I really did like the emotional beats here, but I think that had they stuck to a more traditional animation style, it probably would have attracted a wider fan base. But let me know what you think about Trigun Stargaze and Trigun Stampede in the comments. And don't forget to click that join button if you want to become a member, slap subscribe, and shoot the bell icon so you never miss another update. Until next time, deuces.